it really is amazing to me, like how much we crave connection as human beings. Whether it's finding that kindred spirit to share a hobby with, a shoulder to lean on during tough times, or even just someone to like grab coffee with, and just swap stories with. Like we thrive on those interactions.
Yeah, it's a fundamental human need. Really it is. And in today's world, we're so much more, reliant on technology. It's more important now than ever to find ways to really connect authentically and build, meaningful relationships.
Exactly. And I know, from talking to you and, reading your messages, so many of you out there are like, feeling frustrated, like, with the limitations of existing platforms, especially, when it comes to finding those genuine connections.
The endless swiping and the superficial profiles and the hidden fees. Sometimes it just feels like a chore rather than a joyful experience. And sometimes, you're just not looking for romance. They're looking for a different kind of connection.
Yeah.
And those options, I feel like, are very limited on traditional dating sites.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes this deep dive, I think, so interesting. We're exploring a brand new platform called Mingle Grove. And they're really trying to do things differently, especially here in Oregon and the surrounding areas. They're really leaning into this idea of building a connections community, a space where people can find all sorts of relationships, not just romantic ones.
Right. And that's what's so refreshing, I think, about their approach. Right on their website, they clearly state that they're not just a dating site, they're a relationship website, which is a very subtle, but I think a very important distinction. They're acknowledging that people have, diverse needs and desires when it comes to connection, and they're trying to create a platform that reflects, that reality.
Okay, so let's unpack some of the ways they're setting themselves apart from those big dating websites you mentioned. One of the first things that caught my eye was their emphasis on video introductions.
Yeah.
Instead of just relying on static photos, they encourage members to record a 10-second phone selfie video.
Oh, wow. Now that's a bold move, I think. It definitely takes more effort than just snapping a selfie, but it also gives, potential connections a much better sense of who you are and what your personality is like. It's about moving beyond just, the curated perfection of online profiles and letting your authentic self shine through.
Yeah, it's like a little sneak peek into your world, your energy, your sense of humor. And I think it speaks to their desire to foster more genuine connections from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another thing that sets them apart, I think, is their concept of mingle groups, which is really intriguing. It's like a targeted approach to finding people who share, your interests and goals. They've got groups for everything from traditional dating to non-traditional dating to finding activity partners.
So whether you're looking for love or exploring alternative relationship styles, or just want someone to join you for a hike or a game night, there's a group for you. And if there isn't, you can create one.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of it. You're not just limited to what's already there. You can actively shape the community and find your niche.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, we trust you to know what kind of connections you're looking for, and we're going to give you the tools to find them, which is, I think, it's a very empowering, approach.
And speaking of empowering, I love how they're, encouraging real life interactions through local gatherings and events. They understand that the strongest connections, often happen face to face, and they're creating, opportunities for those interactions to occur organically.
Yeah, it's all about, bridging that gap between, the online and the offline worlds. You might initially connect with someone online, through a shared interest or a common goal, but then you have the opportunity to meet up in person, whether it's at a Mingle Grove event or a gathering organized by the group itself.
Yeah, it's like they're creating a space where those initial online sparks can turn into real world, friendships, relationships, and communities. And they're doing it with a focus on your local area, which I think is especially appealing for folks here in Oregon and the surrounding regions.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They verify addresses to ensure that everyone on the platform is genuinely in the area, and they encourage local gatherings and events. So you're not just connecting with someone who lives on the other side of the world. You're connecting with people in your community, people you might actually bump into at the coffee shop or the farmer's market.
Now, one thing that really caught my eye was their emphasis on community building and trust. They're very clear about their commitment to creating a safe and supportive environment. And they seem to be taking, concrete steps to achieve that.
Yeah, their website mentions that they actively monitor feedback and have clear community guidelines to address issues like harassment and bullying and offensive content. They're not just hoping for the best, they're actively working, to create a positive and, respectful space for everyone.
And that's so important, especially when you're, putting yourself out there to meet new people. You want to feel like you're in good hands, that the platform has your back.
Right, absolutely. And they're also transparent about the fact that they're still in the early stages of development, which I think is, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
They're inviting feedback from their users, and constantly looking for ways to improve the platform, based on that feedback.
It's like they're saying, come join us on this journey. Help us build something special, together. And that's where the founding member opportunity comes in.
Right. They're offering a chance for people to get in on the ground floor, test out the platform, provide feedback, and even get, premium features for free in the future. It's a way to be a part of something, from the very beginning and help shape its evolution.
Now, I know that, jumping into a brand new platform can feel a little daunting, especially when there's so many, established options out there. But what I'm sensing from Mingle Grove is a genuine desire to do things differently, to create a more authentic, supportive, and locally focused, experience.
Mm-hmm. It's like they're tapping into a growing yearning for something more, meaningful, something that goes beyond the superficiality of many, existing platforms.
Yeah, it's about finding those connections that truly enrich your life, whether it's a new friend, an activity partner, a romantic partner, or even just a sense of belonging to a community that gets you. And that's what we're going to explore further in part 2 of this deep dive.
Yeah, we'll delve deeper into how Mingle Grove actually works, explore those Mingle groups in more detail, and discuss whether this platform might be the answer, to your search for genuine connection. Stay tuned. So welcome back to our deep dive into Mingle Grove. In the last part, we talked about how Mingle Grove is trying to create this space for people to connect in a more genuine and authentic way, and they're emphasizing local connections, diverse relationships, and a commitment to building a supportive community.
It sounds really promising, but as with any online platform, there are always questions about safety and security and how they handle the inevitable, challenges of online interactions. What are your thoughts on those aspects?
That's a great question, and it's something that Mingle Grove seems to be, taking very seriously. Their website mentions a report feature where users can, flag posts or profiles that violate, their community guidelines, which include things like harassment, bullying, and offensive content.
So they're giving users a way to be part of the solution by flagging content that needs attention. But what happens after something is reported?
Yeah, from what I gather, reports go directly to the site administrator for review.
Yeah.
And depending on the severity, they can take actions like removing the content, suspending accounts, or even banning users permanently.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty thorough. It's reassuring to know they have a system in place for addressing those issues. But I'm also curious about prevention. What are they doing to discourage negativity or inappropriate behavior from the get-go?
Well, their whole messaging, emphasizes meaningful and genuine interactions. So it's like they're trying to, attract a community that values, respect and authenticity from the start.
Right. Setting the tone from the outset is key.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about inclusivity. One of the things that stood out to me was their, explicit welcome of individuals of all relationship styles.
Yes, they clearly state that they're not just for traditional dating. They welcome people who are exploring, polyamory, open relationships, or even just looking for platonic friendships.
Yeah, that's a refreshing, I think, change from many other platforms that tend to focus on a very narrow definition of relationships.
It makes it clear that they're creating a space where everyone can feel comfortable and accepted, regardless of their relationship preferences.
Right, and remember how we talked about those Mingle groups? Well, they can also play a role in fostering, inclusivity.
You mean people can create groups like specifically for, LGBTQ plus individuals or people of color or people with disabilities or any other community that wants, a dedicated space to connect.
Exactly. Yeah. It gives those communities the power to create their own safe spaces and connect with, like-minded individuals.
That's a fantastic, feature. It really emphasizes their commitment to building a diverse and inclusive community.
It does. Yeah. Now I know you're curious about how those mingle groups actually work. So let's dive into that in the next part.
Sounds good to me. We'll explore the different types of groups, how they're managed, and the potential they hold for fostering, those deeper connections. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We've spent the last two parts, diving deep into Mingle Grove, exploring their, unique features, their commitment to safety and inclusivity, and their vision for building this, connections community that goes beyond the limitations of, traditional dating sites.
Yeah, and now it's time to, really shine a spotlight on those Mingle groups.
Right.
The heart and soul of the Mingle Grove experience. We've touched on them briefly, but let's, really unpack what makes them so special and how they can help you, find those genuine connections that you're craving.
All right, so let's imagine I'm a brand new Mingle Grove member, eager to explore these groups. Where do I even begin? What kind of options are out there? Well, they've got those, core groups that cater to different, relationship styles, like traditional dating, non-traditional dating, and activity partners. But the real magic, I think, lies in the member-created groups, where you can find communities based on, shared interests and hobbies and goals.
So whether you're a hiking enthusiast, a bookworm, a foodie, a board game fanatic, or, passionate about something completely unique, you can find a group of like-minded, individuals. And if you can't find one, you can create it yourself, which is, that's pretty empowering.
It is. And within each group, you have, various ways to connect. There are forum discussions for sharing thoughts and ideas, online chat for, real-time conversations, and even, video gatherings for a more, face-to-face experience.
So you can choose your level of engagement based on your comfort level. You can lurk in the forums for a bit, get a sense of the group's vibe, maybe dip your toe into the chat, and then, if you feel comfortable, join a video call or even a real-life meetup.
Exactly. It's all about creating a space where people can connect in a way that feels, natural and comfortable for them. And speaking of real life, meetups, that's one of the things that, sets Mingle Grove apart. They understand that the strongest connections often happen, in person. So they encourage group members to organize gatherings and events.
It's about, bridging that gap between the online and the offline world. You might initially connect with someone online, but then you have the opportunity to meet up in person, get to know each other better, and build a deeper connection.
Absolutely. And remember, they're emphasizing those local connections. So you're not just connecting with someone who lives, on the other side of the world. You're connecting with people in your community, people you might actually bump into in the grocery store or the park.
Now, I'm curious about, how those groups are managed. It sounds like a lot of responsibility to create and maintain a thriving community. Is there any support or guidance provided for those who take on that role?
There is. They have a Mingle group manager role. Mm-hmm. So anyone can apply to create a group, and if approved, they become the manager responsible for setting the tone, moderating discussions, and organizing events. So
it's a community driven effort with members taking ownership of the groups that they create.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the founding member opportunity. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but it's worth exploring in more detail. What are your thoughts on the potential benefits and drawbacks of jumping in early on this platform?
Well, the main benefit, I think, is the chance to be a part of something from the ground up. Founding members get to test out features, provide feedback, and help shape the platform's, evolution. It's a unique opportunity to have a real impact on something, you believe in.
And they also get, premium features for free, at least for the foreseeable future. That's a pretty sweet deal.
It is. But I know some people might be, hesitant to invest time and energy into a brand new, platform. What would you say to those who are like on the fence?
I would say that, Mingle Grove seems to be addressing a genuine need for more authentic and meaningful connection. And they're doing it with a lot of heart and intention. They're not just another, dating site. They're building something truly special.
And if you're looking for a way to connect with, like-minded people, build lasting relationships and be part of a supportive community, then, Mingle Grove is definitely worth checking out.
So why not take the plunge and see what it's, all about? You might be surprised at the connections you make and the experiences you have.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Mingle Grove. We've explored their features, their vision, and their commitment to creating a space where genuine connections can flourish.
And if you're, feeling that yearning for connection, that desire to find, your tribe, then we encourage you to explore Mingle Grove and see if it resonates with you. You might just discover something truly special.
And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, keep seeking those connections that enrich your life and make you feel like you belong, because, we're all in this together.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep connecting.